Welcome to
welcome to
Arcade Bitesize Free.
Way!
I'm going to say it in unison. Obviously, wasn't listening to what I was saying.
It's all good. It's all good.
So, Arcade Bitesize Free is a sequel to another Bitesize we did in an
Almost
arcade.
like 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. I can't even remember anymore.
When did we both quit? About 3 years ago, we did our Arcade Bites, another Bitesize.
That was a very long time ago.
This is meant to be under 10 minutes long. We just wasted like 1 minute.
Okay.
So this is focusing on current gen arcade news, so not retro gaming, not Ticket or Redemption, but current gen, which I've always been quite vocal about. People are not covered for current gen news. They're kind of left out because I think most people who, like 18, 19, early 20s, they're not going to go on Facebook or blah, blah to find out arcade news. It's already sort of in their circle. No one's like putting news out there.
Yeah,
so I admin a group called London Ribbon Game Projects on Facebook. So I'm basically printing the stuff off. I'm going to read what I already put in a post, but it's maybe more exciting in a video. So the biggest news recently, since COVID, is Namco is gone.
Yes, that's a tough one as well because we're not too entirely sure the details about why. Why they've not.
I'm pretty much anyone watching this already knows like why Namco left the station, why the county hall, why they left. Internet's a very small world, so if you want information about something, someone will always actually know.
Yeah.
So there'll be ways you can find that out. But yeah, Namco left a couple of weeks ago.
Hosted 20 years, I think, was it?
25 years. So I didn't know they were there at the same time as Namco Great Wimble Street. People talk about the Namco of the olden days. The really good Namco was in near Chinatown, Wimble Street.
I remember that.
They coexisted for 4 or 5 years. But yeah, it's been there 25 years. Namco's now gone. A lot of people are like, oh no, it was one of the last true arcades left in London, apart from LV, which has been there since donkey years. I'm talking about old arcades that have been there since the beginning of time. I'm not saying which is the best arcade. I'm just saying,
it's probably pre-Sega World, isn't it?
Yeah, from all the greats, that have since closed. Namco's gone, which will be missed by a lot of people, a lot of casual people. And again, I feel very passionate that you need newcomers, new faces coming to an arcade. And when you have like independent arcades, like the arcade we're sitting in right now, you're not going to get so many. You're not going to get so many random people, and you need like more new blood. So that's sad. Namco's closed.
Just imagine like there's a generation. There might be a generation where they don't grow up with normal arcades. It's weird.
Yeah.
So actually, we probably are in that generation now of these young people that are. Don't really know about arcades. So
people are playing music games at home and Googling, going, oh, does this exist anywhere else? And then they're finding an arcade like that. They're not finding an arcade by walking into an arcade. It's already playing a music game on my tablet, on my phone, on my PC, or where can I play a similar game searching, then I find an arcade.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So Namco's closed. Rumours, which already been online, verified and unverified. An arcade might replace where Namco is right now. Don't tell me how I know this, but very reliable information. An arcade may replace it, so it wasn't a case of they didn't want an arcade there. They just wanted the right arcade there. I'm going to get killed by Namco saying that. The next big news is Chief Coffee Turnham Green. Since our last podcast, they've been open 4 or 5 months now. The arcade floor.
Yep.
The coffee shop's been there for 5-6 years. It's been a long time. They've got a Japanese arcade floor, Turnham Green, West London.
District line. Yeah,
near Earls Court area. They're doing very well. They've got good Marmite community there. They've got the latest Taiko drumming game. The only Initial D0 online in Europe. I
think they might have one in Stockholm, I think.
But they have Initial D0. Really good racing game there. And they're getting Chinefum, I believe, this week coming up.
Yeah.
So Chinefum, the touchscreen piano game.
It's still touchscreen slider with hand sensors and stuff. It's all-encompassing music game.
Yep. Chinefum's coming out there. They got pinball. They got a lot of Electrocoin pinballs in the basement. And they got a couple of Ulix cabs with Ultra Street Fighter 4, and they make really good coffee. And it's near the Amazon store, which is crazy. You walk into the Amazon shop, you put things in your bag and walk out.
I didn't realise the Amazon store was near there.
And they detect everything by camera. So you just walk out without going to checkout. So I've got to make this quicker. In Wandsworth, a big arcade opened in Wandsworth called Gravity.
I was planning on going there on Monday, actually.
A lot of people have said it reminds them of Troc in the old days. They said the arcade is a bit rubbish, but the feel, all the different zones.
I'm interested in the go-karting there, to be honest with you. As someone
that
that
looks
goes
sick.
go-karting, I'm curious. I definitely want to go because as someone that has like a membership to like the team sport go-karting, I'm curious about that. But I heard the arcade stuff, but I wasn't too curious about it.
Oh, so I posted on Twitter. They have got a few stand-up arcade cabinets, and one of them is a main cabinet. It has Street Fighter 3 original marquee, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike on the Xbox 360 background image, Street Fighter 5 control panel, and it's running Street Fighter 2 Turbo. I'm like, yeah, and it's contactless, so you can put your card in it, and you get 1 credit on MAME. Sick.
Oh my
1 credit for £1. I mean, that was pretty mad, like contactless on MAME. But you know what?
No.
You know how much I love Pandora, so I can't really cuss that. But
man.
I mean, it's and they have track and field with 6 buttons and Pac-Man with 6 buttons.
Pac-Man with 6 buttons actually sounds
Because
sick.
maybe you could use it as a hitbox controller. But yeah, that's it's crazy that it's got to the point now where you can have MAME on contactless and the marquee doesn't even have to match the game, and no one cares. The video game industry is so unregulated; it's just unreal. Like you can get away with pretty much anything.
The video game,
coin-op arcade industry is just
yeah.
like it's not even. It's still the Wild West, really. Next event is FreePlayCity, where we are now.
Yep.
FreePlayCity's been around as an arcade location since 2015, when it was known as Violent City. One of the, I wouldn't say founding members of Heart of Gaming, but one of the main staff of Heart of Gaming came here, made Violent City. Then he left go to China, Taiwan. He left some cabs here, and the landlord took it over.
He didn't actually order the cabs. None of the cabs here are his actually. He
Oh.
took all of his cabs with him.
Well, I stand corrected.
I think they're in storage somewhere. I'm not too sure where they are, but he took them all.
God,
with
we're waffling, aren't we? So the arcade news for this place is, yeah, we have Angeki, Chinafim, Beatmania 2DX. We have a lot of music games. You can check Wacker. We just fixed Pump today, finally, so Pump Up's now working okay. We have music games. We have a lot of fighting games. There's already First Strike community here, Tekken community here. So we want to everything that we've had in our arcade experience working in other arcades. Here we can actually realise a dream. We can fix cabinets, we can have events, we can have streaming, we can do things like this. So
yeah,
now...
So we'll probably start streaming some more of the music games relatively soon. Personally, I've just not got around to half of them, unfortunately, because it's been so busy. So it's been very difficult to sort of pin down time to be like, all right, cool, let's do this sort of thing.
Basically,
there's always something else.
We've got no one to blame if this arcade goes...
it's only
tips
only
up,
blame
only us to blame.
ourselves.
So we opened in North London. The rumour, which I wasn't going to talk about, but seeing as Kevin Williams put it on a Stinger report, and it's actually on the internet to view, I think it's okay for me to talk about. Electrocoin, who run Vega, it's their building. They used to run Goosery Casino. Their arcade is new arcade is going to open in Russell Square, the Brunswick Shopping Centre. It's where River Island shop used to be, and I've already been sent videos of people putting machines in there already. I had a dialogue with certain people. And I gave him a lot of input, and I said, it'd be really cool if he has some music games and fighting games here. It's going to be a joint partnership with someone else, who I guess it will be obvious later on, but it's looking to be more ticket and redemption, so I was like, oh no. But I gave it input, I wrote a lot of emails. I think I've done my bit
Basically,
to say, look, it would be sick if you had music games and fighting games and community here, but if you wouldn't do that's up to you. But at the end of the day, another arcade opening is cool. And in Zone 1, create another arcade in Zone 1 is kind of insane.
Especially in this day and age and everything.
You got is it ENN or ENL Pink Cafe chain, and they've got one cafe in Wardour Street near LV, and they have a few MAME cabinets and some racing game cabinets. So technically, that's a Zone 1 arcade.
True, that's true.
Yeah, technically.
How many cams do you need to be classified as an arcade?
As long as you've got a MAME running on contactless, with an arcade with 10 buttons for a 1-button game, like you're golden. Arcade Club Blackpool still hasn't opened, but opening very soon. I spoke to Andy a few months back. He's really hyped. Obviously, COVID set him back, but we've gone from London news to nationwide news, current music and arcade game news.
Cool.
So Blackpool's going to open soon. I think they've been recruiting. They've had some recruiting stuff on their social media. So that's another place. In Bradford, near Leeds, a flashback by Mo Patel. Mo Patel from Videotronics. He's been doing games for the last 20, 30 years around that area. So he's
the publisher of the Tulix cab.
The Tulix, the guy who imported all the Chinese Tulix cabs. I don't have a background if Tulix are legit or not. I heard a rumor from a reliable source that they started making these Chinese Tulix cabs, and to save face, Taito were like, you know what, we're not going to follow up legal action, just make them, you know, you can make them with our permission. But again, it's not certified info. God, I'm digressing. Stop digressing, Toby. Yeah, so in Bradford, loads of new fighting games. He's got loads of Tekken 7 round 2s, which are pretty rare in Namco cabinets. He's got loads of music games. His pricing, I don't know what the pricing is, but it is pay on the day.
I've
is
not
it £15 a day or something, £10 a day?
I have no idea. I've not actually looked into it.
NQ64 opened in Edinburgh. NQ64, they...
Oh, Edinburgh's going to get a new place?
Well, it's there now.
Okay,
you know, they got a Manchester place. It's a bar with cocktails and games.
It reminds me of Combo?
Yep.
Because I remember they closed down just before
Combo
COVID.
were kind of legendary, though. Like, they were like a legit...
yeah,
like,
I
legit
remember...
arcade.
I remember went there for holiday.
Combo are wicked.
In Edinburgh, and I went to one of their weeklies, and it was really nice. Like seeing some of the guys up there.
I don't think the guy will mind me saying this, because it also really reminded me of when I worked at LV Soho. He said, "Yeah, we're doing okay," because he had to close, and I said, "Oh, really?" He said, "Yeah, we're doing okay because the owner said I put my heart and soul into it. I was doing, you know, the messaging, all the social media, telling my friends to come, telling people to come, and running tournaments, and that's why it's doing okay. But as soon as I stepped back one day." You know, my money's dipping. So a lot of independent arcades, you need personal interaction, and that's where, you know, places like our place is good because we can just do social media organically. Whereas chain arcade, they'll post a picture or something, and this happens like pretty much 90% of the time. Oh, here's a new game we got. Yeah, come play a new game, wicked. And people go, oh, cool. You know, oh, what game's that? Oh, I've not seen that before. How do you know? Give them more information. They'll blank every single message. They might like the comments. They'll blank it. Next day, put a new picture of something else. Oh, check this out. But you've just ignored all the comments. So what's the point of having...
So very,
it's totally static social media. Like, why are you not replying to this? Even if you don't know the answer. So, but Combo was very dynamic.
Combo was very good. I remember when I went there. Not only did I went there for a fighting game session that they had, because they had consoles there as well, but they also had Japanese lessons as well. They ran Japanese lessons there too.
And they had fighting game themed sandwiches and very cool. But it's in Scotland, so it doesn't count. No, I'm joking. No, Scotland's sick. Scotland's sick. Edinburgh's really sick, actually. I might be going there in October.
I prefer Glasgow personally, but...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's weird.
No arcades in Glasgow now. High score in Newbury. So, where's Newbury?
Newbury, what, in London Newbury?
No, not London Newbury. My geography's terrible. Okay, Newbury, wherever that is. And sorry about that. They've got the only white DDR-A cab in an independent arcade. I'm not talking about chain arcades. I'm talking about, like, you know, paid to come in. You know, everything's on free play. They got a DDR-A, a white cab there. And this is kind of I guess, big news for music gamers, even though no one's really going to go, if I'm honest. But in Halifax, there are 2 locations with My. Like bowling centres with My. Like, you go into your bowling centre. Oh, there's a My. Oh, cool. What? So there's
that is absolutely
Electric
mental.
Bowl and Galactic Golf in Halifax. Both have My setups. Mad. No, Kent, Sittingbourne, Kent. It's called The Light. Bowling and arcade. They have Pump It Up XX, the only other Pump It Up XX location in the country apart from Las Vegas Soho. They have that, and they have a House of the Dead Scarlet Dawn test cabinet. Which Arcade Heroes alerted me to. So House of the Dead Scarlet Dawn is a big, dedicated cabinet. They've done like an SD standard definition cabinet, so a smaller cabinet.
Is it SD or is it HD, but just smaller? Because SD, I don't think they would make an SD cab.
It's a small cab. You don't sit in it. You stand outside it.
Okay, that's fine.
All the House of the 5 cabinets that Sega is selling, you sit inside. This one, you stand up and shoot.
Okay, because the thing is, the SD one, because if it's, I would doubt they would make an SD, because making a 4x3 version.
Well, we got to go check it out.
It's probably,
in a couple of weeks.
It's probably HD still, but it's just smaller.
We got to check it out.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Oh, when I say SD, I don't mean standard definition. I mean standard.
You mean just a smaller cab?
Yeah, it stands for something else. It's not about the screen resolution. It stands for like a small something.
Okay, cool, that's fine.
Small D. All right. Yeah, so I really want to check out the. It looks like it's a test House of the Dead cabinet. I don't know why they chose that location, but they got Pump as well. That's sick. A Level Up arcade bar in Ireland, Limerick.
It's been a while since I heard that.
He came...
Oh, yes, he came down, actually, yeah.
So it's been very recent, actually. Forgot all about it.
That was very recent. That was 2 weeks ago, is it?
Yeah, he came here. Really cool. He's got lots of Japanese import games. He's got fighting games. He's got a wicked bar. So if you're in Ireland, if you're in Limerick, check him out. And they've got Initial D Stage 4 as of 2 weeks ago.
Stage 4?
Initial D Stage 4.
Wow, that's old school.
It was the last Initial D to be released in Europe.
Oh, really?
So he got a sick-ass cab.
News to me.
Arcade Warehouse in Lincoln. Lincoln is Midlands? Oh my god! Yeah, Lincoln's somewhere, all right? And,
I don't have my phone with me to check
and in
as
Lincoln,
well.
yeah, I've lived in London so long now, I've become like all the other Londoners. I don't know anything like past Luton, like past like Zone 6. They've got Taiko Tatsujin 13, and they've got Scotto. Scotto's the Konami Redemption. No, it's not even Redemption. You throw ping pong balls into these little holes.
Oh, that! Wow.
But
Okay, that's
it's
weird.
a party game. I don't think you get tickets from it, but it's actually mega fun.
Yeah, that's quite random actually.
Yeah, so they got
Full game,
so Lincoln, they got some new stuff. Electrocoin again. Back to Electrocoin. Spoke to the owner a few months ago. Ordered 40 DDR-A white cabs. So 40 cabs are going to come to England. Yeah, and I think he'll be able to sell them because during COVID, people haven't been able to import stuff. Shipping costs have gone up by 200-300%.
Oh god, shipping costs.
Container before, big container, was like what, £1.5 before. Now it's like what, £6,000, £6.5 grand. So those cabs will fly out. He's bought 40 new of those, and for the UK, that's pretty much it. So for London, it's been absolutely sick. But yeah, Ken,
I think it's
Midlands
been
up
pretty
north.
good for everywhere else. Actually.
Yeah, I mean,
we've not had to report other than for Namco. We haven't had to report any losses.
No, just
so
more arcades opening.
which is probably the best bit actually. Like it's always a shame when we have to talk about an arcade closing. Yeah, and the thing is, we've only had to do that with Namco. Sure, Namco's a massive loss, but from all the stuff that you talked about, it's so much growth elsewhere.
Independently, yeah. Obviously, independent arcades are better for us, but for people coming in off the street, when I first went to arcades, it was off the street. So, we want more public arcades. As much as people cuss public arcades, I've got to pay £1 to go. Why can't I pay £10 for infinite gameplay? No, but we want more people because it's just shrinking. But yeah, a lot of new openings are great. I think a lot of people in their 30s and 40s now who've got money, like, we're going to make a cool arcade now. So, that's pretty sick. I mean, that was most of the news pretty much. Sega Gigo Ikebukuro closing this month.
I have nothing to say to that I haven't said already. I think it's disappointing, but it's also not surprising. Also, Paradox and Love Live will be ending their network service in Japan in October 1st.
That means we can buy caps. Yeah,
I knew he was going to say that. But yeah, that means with those two games officially ending service, that means Square Enix has no games.
Oh yeah, crazy. Yeah, because they've taken off what, Theatre Rhythm, Final Fantasy.
Theatre Rhythm, Dissidia NT, and what's the last one? Gunslinger Stratos all went out of service on April 1st. So that means Square Enix will have no arcade games on network from October.
It's good news for independent arcades like in Europe and America because then they can import games cheap and get them running. But then games have to start in Japan. So when Japan's not producing games,
you also got to remember that Gunslinger Stratos 3 actually had an official release in US. So those cabs are now paperweights.
Oh, okay. Official release in round 1.
Yeah. They had official release.
I don't count round 1 as official.
No, but they had full Japanese NESCA networking service.
Crazy.
And it actually even linked. I don't know if it linked to the Japanese one, but it did have link play across the country.
Oh, stuff I haven't written down actually, because you were talking about official releases in the US.
Yeah.
There's a Dave & Buster's, I believe somewhere in Texas. They were the ones testing the Denture to Go, the train simulator. You could sit in and like drive a train and do all that stuff. That's disappeared. But what's been replaced in the same location is, on your phone or your tablet, you can play Asphalt Racing.
Yeah.
The arcade version of Asphalt has appeared.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in Dave & Buster's. So I don't know if they paid for the location test.
Oh, okay.
It's appeared there.
Speaking of which, of Density, that game's actually had its console release now. So it's on PS4 and Switch.
In Europe?
In Japan.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, I don't think Europe that probably.
It won't get a version in Europe, but nah. Not anytime soon anyway. So
the other arcade news, arcade news. Yeah. All right, Jennifer. All right, Dylan. Yeah. All right, cut me. No, sorry. I don't know what that was. That was random. Yeah, arcade news. The Stepmania X test machine, which will be sold by UDC, United Distribution Company, that was on test in Coral Island. Is that Blackpool? Coral Island?
I'm not sure.
Yes, that's not Blackpool to me. It's a massive arcade in Blackpool. But Coral Island never actually, because I checked their Twitter and their Facebook and of their social media, they never posted a single mention or picture of it. Nothing. So that really was a proper underground test. And then the machine is now gone.
Wow. Okay.
So UDC are going to distribute it, but with no price. It's in their advertising, but no price on it. Whereas other games have prices on. So it's coming, but we don't know where, how, when.
Well, I don't have any other info on any JP games at the moment. It's all a bit touch and go with Japanese games at the moment with COVID and stuff. So
Well, with like UK and European news, but we've got basically UK current gen stuff. I'll always post in London Ribbon Game Project, but then I've shared that post in like Arcade Heroes, and I put it in UK VAC as well if anyone cared. So I tend to like do my every 2 or 3 months I put a little post out saying this stuff's happened, because it's very well and good saying we've got a retro games arcade, but games that came out like 40 years ago when people weren't born until 2005 and they're 16 playing a music game or a current gen game, they don't really give a crap about Pac-Man.
It's weird
Like,
talking
who
to someone
cares?
about. It's weird talking to someone about like Astro City, like today, and they're like 19, and that happened 10 years ago.
Oh, okay. So we were talking to a group of not kids, but a group of 19, 20-year-olds who came into this arcade earlier, FreePlayCity, and we're talking about
Basically,
music game
they're
history.
younger people with younger people coming, like the next generation of music
Well,
game players.
They're current gen. I hate when people say the new blood, the new gen. No, dude, you're 30, you're 40. It's not the new. The new gen was like 20 years ago, mate. They're current gen players, and that always gets my goat. When I was 19, 20, playing games, someone said, "Oh, the new school, mate. I've been going to arcade since I was 6, so I've actually been around. I'm 19, but I've been playing for." My maths is terrible. 13 years, you know. So how am I new? I don't understand. So yeah. So the current gen, we're ancient. I'm fossil, mate. I'm not even millennial. I'm Generation X. Like so. Yeah, we're telling them history about having 10 years ago. To us, it's like current. They're like, oh, I was like 9 then. I was just, you know.
It just gives you perspective.
I just learned to put food in my mouth without spewing it all over the table. So it's yeah.
It just gives it perspective of just how like much has changed.
Well,
and also how much has not changed
I
at the
think
same time.
The fact that we're still in the industry,
it's quite
because a lot of people
frightening,
drop out. A lot of your friends will drop out in the 20s. That's why a lot of people my age, arcades are great in the 90s. Okay, that was 21 years ago. So you're kind of no, you don't really have an opinion. You don't get to have an opinion. Like
to be fair,
yeah.
I think arcades have just changed.
Yeah, they just changed, but they're still current. There's still a market, there's still a demand, and
it depends on where you are.
yeah, if you can, you have to make effort. You can't just make an arcade and say, right, come to my arcade. No, you got to do tournaments. You got to push social media, give people a reason to come, and there's so much potential. And there's so many people are playing, you know, games on a phone, tablet that are all sort of quite simple arcade premise. You know, so you got to adapt. Like our fighting games now, you have people that play the older Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 3, but people who play current gen games like you know Dragon Ball, Tekken 7. We even had a Power Rangers event today, and I was like, oh, okay, but I mean, sick, cool.
It actually ran really well. Battle for the Grid, actually.
It's got to be.
Shout out to those guys, actually.
They're sick, and it's got to be on console now. So you just have to adapt. So if you have a section for consoles, it's fine. You have to adapt.
Yep, it's not easy as just like put a bunch of arcade machines in and
it's just
people turn up. I could definitely vouch as someone that's actually been on both sides of the water. I could definitely vouch that is not the case.
If I go on my final little rant, how much time have we got left? How much?
We are on 22 minutes.
Oh my god!
So you can't even rant.
Okay. So people say, come play. You know how we used to play in the 90s, dude. Like, what about how we play today? You can't live in the present. You can't live in the past. Oh my god! You can't live in the past. You can't live in the future. You can only live in the present.
Yeah.
Only live in the present. You're never going to recreate the past ever. So, current gen, you know, there are places where you can play. There's a lot of new places have opened. Current gen games, you know, it's good stuff, man. Good future. Next podcast has got to be half the time of this podcast. Like, I mean, really, it's arcade life story.
I think you just have to waffle.
Arcade life story.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up there. So until next time, like hopefully next month maybe.
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds good to me.
Yeah. 10 minutes.
All right. We'll catch everybody later.
10 minutes next time.
Safe. We'll try. All right. Catch you later. See you soon.